This is an Unsealed episode that I have been looking forward to taping for a long time now. I have had these games warming up in the bullpen for this particular occasion, and the occasion, of course, is the celebration of the 20th anniversary of the launch of the PlayStation 2 here in North America. It made its debut on October 26th, 2000 in retail stores across North America, both United States and Canada. And as I talked about in my most recent repeat video, I did not buy the console at launch. I bought it in late January 2001, but nevertheless, the excitement for the console was very difficult to avoid. We saw long lines at retailers all over the place. And as I talked about in the repeat video, it was in such demand that retailers were constantly running out of it, and customers had to be walking back to their cars to make sure that their PlayStation 2s weren't being stolen. It was, to put it mildly, a big deal. In this episode of Unsealed, I do have two sealed launch title games for the PlayStation 2, as well as a follow-up to one of those games. So sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and open up some games. The first one is a game that really doesn't need much of an introduction because it is the most popular football simulation video game franchise of all time. Granted, there are a lot of people that don't like it these days. There is a lot of complaining that the series has not done a lot in terms of innovation, especially since competition has flown out the window. But for the 2001 sports year, especially battling against the debut of NFL 2K, Madden NFL 2001, I believe, held its own pretty favorably. Featuring the commentary duo of Pat Summerall and John Madden, Madden NFL 2001 looked great in terms of presentation with relevant stat overlays, really cool looking replay sequences, and an on-field presentation that looked really, really solid. Although the uniform fonts on the back of the uniforms for player names weren't necessarily correct, the uniforms still look great, the helmets look great, there was a lot of light sourcing and other cool graphics elements, and the gameplay was just as solid as it had ever been. I was really impressed with this, and this was one of the games that I picked up when I got my PlayStation 2 in January of 2001. Compete in the only game that matters. That is what we see on the back of the case here, and you can see some really cool lighting effects, such as the sun setting behind the running back here in the very top picture. There are a lot of features with this game, and as I said, it felt very feature-rich. It felt like EA was really getting off on the right foot. As we take a look at some of the features included in this game, it's easy to see why. Real NFL player models. Yes, the player models looked solid, certainly better than they did on the original PlayStation, and again, with good reason. This was a generational leap, and it really looked it. It was very impressive. Real NFL emotion with authentic facial expressions. See the intensity in a blitzing linebacker's eyes. In 2020, when we look at that, it's probably not all that impressive. But again, you have to put yourself in the shoes of a sports video game fan in the year of 2000. And we were coming off of PlayStation and Nintendo 64 looking faces that looked middling at best to games like NFL 2K and Madden 2001, which looked a lot better. And while they weren't exactly TV perfect, it was such a huge step up that most of us were very impressed. Real NFL moves with physics-based animations calculated from speed, mass, and hit location. I think that's a lot of retail speak and salesman speak. I don't necessarily know that it's relating on those, but again, it looked pretty solid, and the gameplay, at least in my opinion, is pretty enjoyable. Real NFL coaches with signature playbooks and play styles. Coaches work the sidelines and the officials, and yes, Bill Belichick is in this game. So if you're looking for Bill Belichick to play as him, this is the game that you have to do it. I believe it was also in Madden NFL 2002 as well, although I'm going from the old noggin up here. Old school teams and players. Over 200 of the NFL's greatest players and old school teams with throwback uniforms. Football has a very deep history, the NFL certainly does, and a lot of those players that you remember from years gone by are in this game. And that was long before MUT, the Madden Ultimate Team, had really brought them in and made them such a big part of gameplay. They were in this game right from the get-go, and you didn't have to spend money on card packs to be able to open them up. Madden cards. Speaking of the cards, of course. Win, trade, and risk in-game Madden cards to unlock hidden players, stadiums, and power-ups. This was something that EA did with great effect during the early part of the PlayStation 2 era with these Madden cards and NHL cards where you unlock things just for playing the game and achieving certain things within the game. It was really an early achievement system and made these games infinitely replayable. How many times could you pull off this thing? How many of the Madden cards could you unlock? And again, you didn't have to pay anything extra for these other than, of course, the gameplay time that you spent, like the grind, I guess you would call it, in playing the game. So again, just taking a look at the back of the case, I do think, whoops, got to move it over here. I do think that the screenshots look really, really good. As I mentioned, my only complaint really is just that the font on the player names in the back of the uniforms is pretty generic. But other than that, that's really a minor complaint for a debut for a new video game console. So I think that that's great. And I believe that that is Eddie George on the cover, by the way. And you can see that Madden is featured on the front of the game, and he's also featured on commentary as well. This is a KB Toys game. It sold for $54.99 for whoever had this before they sold it to me. I paid a little bit less than that, but I was very happy to pick this up. Brand new, and it does have the ID sticker at the top, so we know that it's factory sealed. The version that I have was resealed, so it looks okay, but because this is a blue-backed compact disc game, it's important to make sure that the CD is in good shape as possible. So without further delay, let's go ahead and open this up and we'll take a look at the instruction manual on the inside as we open up this brand new copy of Madden 2001. As we take the plastic off the front, hopefully we'll be able to do this before too long. Yeah, there we go. So we'll take that off of there and we'll kind of turn it on its side. I am very excited about this. I love the early Maddens for the PS2. Really, most of the Maddens for the PS2 I really enjoyed, if I'm being completely honest. Let's go ahead and take the ID sticker off the top, and then we'll go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. So there it goes, the ID sticker. When we open up the case got damaged a little bit, but that's going to happen. One of the instruction manual holders came off. So I'll show you what we have on the inside. We have the Madden disc, and we have the instruction manual, and we also have, as I take more stuff out here, we have the instruction manual, and we also have this PlayStation 2 product catalog from EA Sports and EA Games. And we'll take a look at that first, because this is what we saw initially from EA Sports. Talked about SSX in the repeat episode, the debut of the EA Sports big branding. So we have that here. We also have Madden 2001, which is also available for the original PlayStation, by the way, and plays a fairly decent game of football. We have the early versions of NBA Live and NHL. NHL, by the way, I talked about this in the repeat video. I enjoy quite a bit. There are issues with it. There's some issues with slowdown at center ice and some minor things, but I really do enjoy this particular version of hockey. NBA Live, on the other hand, got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but did improve as the PlayStation 2 era advanced. We have Knockout Kings 2001, which would later become Fight Night, and we also have FIFA 2001 here as well. In addition, we have NASCAR 2001 and F1 Championship, so we have a lot of racing action going on here. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2001 and 007, The World Is Not Enough. Took the Tiger Woods series a little bit of time to really get started on the PS2, but once it really found its groove, really with Tiger 2003 and on, the series was unstoppable. A fantastic game of golf, and I've talked about those in the past. Other EA games, we have Theme Park Roller Coaster and X Squad here. And finally, we have Kessen, which was published by EA. I think that's a Koei game. And EA took advantage of the publishing. So it's nice to see that in color. It's a very cool product catalog, and we'll put that to the side. We'll take a look at the instruction manual for Madden. We have an ad for NASCAR 2001, where you can dominate at Daytona. And again, it looks pretty good, at least in still screenshots. We open up the manual. Unfortunately, the manual is in black and white, as you can see here, so it's really not all that impressive looking on the inside. Of course, there's no story or anything like that here to go over, although they do talk about the game features, just like I talked about on the back of the box. Real player models, real emotion, real coaches, real Madden style with Madden cards, real old school teams and players, and real football AI tested by NFL players, allegedly. That's what it says on the back of the case here. Whole list of the controls, whether it's as simple or as complex as you want them to be. You can select the coach, select the team. I mean, the manual is fairly thick. The manual is some 40 pages in length, not to mention the fact that there is a registration card on the inside there. The debut for Madden Football for the PlayStation 2, as I mentioned, I believe is pretty impressive. Is it perfect? No, but I think it jumps out of the gate pretty favorably, almost like running for 8 yards on first down. It doesn't get you another first down, but it's a really strong gain and opens you up to have even more plays moving forward. You can take a long shot downfield, or you can just run for another first down. The choices are endless, really. And for this particular game, I really think it sets the bar pretty high. All right, we're already almost 11 minutes in. Obviously, I had a lot to say about Madden. Let us move on to the next game. It is another EA game, but you wouldn't know it because even though EA published it, it was not developed by EA. It is a golf game, and golf video games I've had a soft spot for a long time, dating all the way back to PGA Tour Golf for the Super Nintendo, as awful as that game is. I played a little bit of Hal's Hole-in-One Golf before then, but PGA Tour Golf is really where I started to take an interest, and from there, I took even more interest in golf games, playing all of the PGA Tour games for the Genesis and the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3, as well as some other various golf games, in addition to some arcade-style golf games like Golden Tee Golf or Hot Shots Golf as well. I had not played an actual round of golf in my life, but all of my golf knowledge comes from playing video games and watching on TV. The golf game that I have to show you that was released at launch for the PlayStation 2 is a game called Swing Away Golf, which was developed by T&E Soft. This is the same team that developed the Wily Country Club games for the Super Nintendo, for the Genesis, and for the Nintendo 64. I believe it was Real Golf Classics is what the title was under. So T&E Soft certainly has a history with golf games, and this is no exception. This is more arcade style, at least in terms of look, than the other games, which tended to be a bit more realistic. Swing away in style is what is promised here. As you can see by the character models, this game, although it takes itself kind of seriously, it is definitely a more laid-back approach to golf. And that is something I think that's kind of appreciated. It tried to follow the same concept as Hot Shots Golf in not making it overly complicated and trying to take some of the stuffiness out of the game, while at the same time introducing some very basic concepts for golf. One of the things that I learned while playing this game is the impact of elevation on a golf shot, for example. So, this is Swing Away Golf. Let's go ahead and open it up, and then we'll take a look at some more stuff from the inside. By the way, this is a factory sealed copy, as you can see right there with the ID sticker. So let's go ahead and open this up. Gotta open the scissors. Gotta be careful with scissors, kids. Don't play with them like I'm playing with them. All right. Don't mind the heater that's kicking on. I'm doing this with the built-in microphone array on the new laptop because I think this sounds a little better. So if you heard the heater going on, I am sorry. Take that off there. All right, and we'll take the ID sticker off, and then we'll look and see what is on the inside. Now, interestingly, both of these games, Madden Football and Swing Away Golf, use the blue-backed compact disc format instead of the DVD format. And with PlayStation 2s, some of them had an issue where they don't read the blue-based discs well. They read the DVDs a bit better. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about buying either of these games. Make sure your PlayStation 2 runs the traditional CD-ROM format style game with the blue back on it. If it doesn't run it, you're not going to be able to play these games. All right. When we open this up, there's no such problem with damage on the inside. We do see the instruction manual right here, and we see the Swing Away Golf disc over here. And again, pretty colorful, pretty stylish. I like the look of it. We'll go ahead and take the instruction manual out. And when we do that, we have the same product catalog because this was published by EA Games. So we're going to cast that aside. And we're going to take a look at the instruction manual, which is right here. There are no ads on the back of the instruction manual. We just have a picture of some of the video game characters. The instruction manual is not all that big. It is 32 pages, so a little bit smaller than the Madden one, and we do have another registration card here as well. We're not going to go through that for this particular episode. I've gone through those time and time again. Unfortunately, this is in black and white. It's not in color. Some of the gameplay modes here, if we can get to that. We have an introduction here, actually. Golf has never been so stylish or so much fun. Gee, the whole stylish thing. I didn't even know that was going to be here. Hit the links with your attitude and your best set of clubs to go head-to-head against some real characters. Swing Away Golf is golf at its most challenging, from designing courses, that is a cool feature, to working your way up the ranks onto the Pro Tour. But it's more than just fierce competition. With 7 unique golfers and their quirky personalities, plus 3 more that you can unlock, you're sure to be playing favorites in no time. So you can build a career in story mode, you can go for some one-time glory in normal mode, or you can design your courses. So there are 3 different modes of play here. And as we take a look at the back of the case real quick, just to get a semblance of what the game looks like, it doesn't really show much in-game in terms of the system, but it does show you what the game looks like. And although it's a bit cartoony in terms of the characters, I do think that the backgrounds and the courses themselves do look pretty solid. I'm hoping as we look through the manual here, we have some indication of what the gameplay screens look like, but unfortunately we don't. Actually, we do a little bit. We have something with the shot meter here, and it's something that we've seen in PGA Tour golf games before, where the golf meter kind of shows the swing of the golfer, and it's a 3-click system. You hit the button once to start the meter, once to stop the meter as hard as you want to hit the ball, and then one last time for accuracy's sake, where you want to stop it like in that yellow line down there. It's easy to play, although there's certainly a learning curve as there is with any kind of golf simulation. But I think that it's pretty enjoyable. Is it as enjoyable as Hot Shots Golf? No. But I can tell you that I've spent hours and hours playing this, even though as a blue-back disc, I remember how much it made my old PS2 rumble, because for whatever reason, running the blue-back discs made the motor spin a bit faster or something like that. But nevertheless, if you're looking for a golf game that kind of flies under the radar a little bit and comes from a reputable golf video game maker, Swing Away Golf is for you. I do recommend checking it out. I don't know if you know this. You will now. But there was a sequel of sorts to Swing Away Golf, and it is the last game we will open on this episode of Unsealed. T&E Soft also put together Disney Golf, again published by Electronic Arts, developed by T&E Soft, and this is no year. So I'll have to kind of look on the inside. Sorry about that. Need bifocals, apparently. Play a magical round of golf with Mickey and his friends, and I'm reading that backwards. So you can choose from 8 of your favorite Disney characters, play on one of 6 themed courses, so that's a little bit of a struggle, and certainly less than we saw in Swing Away Golf. Over 60 magical power-ups, including the Super Shot for your Miracle Drive. So this is lending itself to be more like a Mario Golf game than it is like a more traditional golf simulation, which isn't neither a good or a bad thing. It just depends on what you prefer. 6 different game modes, including stroke play, match play, skins games, and more. Fun and challenging for all ages. There is the ID sticker at the top. We're going to go ahead and we're going to open this up as time is running long. But that's okay. This is the PlayStation 2's 20th anniversary. It only gets one of those. Let's open this up and see what is inside. Hopefully we'll find the year, because I don't remember the year that this had come out. And usually on the back of the game case, it tells you the year. But here, I guess it's not going to do that. Let's see if I can get this off. Here we go. All right. When we open up this case, this is another blue-backed disc, but we do have some really cool-looking artwork on the disc, and it's reminiscent of what we see on the instruction manual itself. Just like Swing Away Golf, this comes on a CD-ROM, one of the blue-backed discs, so keep that in mind if you're looking to get this for your PlayStation 2 console. When we take a look at the instruction manual this time, the instruction manual is only 20 pages in length, looks very similar in that it has the warranty card on the inside. Still no year, so I have no idea when this came out. That is pretty interesting. I guess I'd have to look this up. Oops. Oh well. When we look on the inside and we're taking a look at gameplay modes here, and not really a lot here. It doesn't really talk about much in the manual. We have stroke play, match play, skins match, combination play, where two players team up and take turns alternating shots, long drive contest, near pin contest, and challenge. So challenge is like your story mode here in the game. So you can purchase items in this game. As I mentioned, it's a lot more like Mario Golf or Hot Shots Golf than it is a traditional golf simulation. But again, it's Disney Golf. I'm not sure exactly what it is you're expecting. From what I remember from playing this, and it has been a while since I've played it, the courses have all different themes like Wild West and other things that you would see in a Disney game. The meter is a bit different, however, in that rather than making a circle around the player, it is just one straight line, much like we saw in the PGA Tour golf games for the Genesis. So I think that that's pretty interesting. In terms of how this game plays, if you've played Swing Away Golf, it is very much like that, except the meter is a little bit different. But other than that, the way that the game plays, the ball physics, how elevation is handled, the way that the greens break, because these are all original courses, it's going to be quite familiar to you. But because not a lot of people played Swing Away Golf, they don't know that the game had a pseudo-sequel, and that's what this is. And if you like Disney, this is a curiosity that might be worth looking into. There is a bit of difficulty to it. There is a little bit of a learning curve, although I do think that that learning curve is slightly more forgiving for Disney Golf than it is for Swing Away, especially since it is more laid back and it has power-ups in the game. But if you like Disney, you might want to take a look at this one. And I actually landed this game sealed for about $20, so that's a pretty darn good deal if you're looking to find this game and add it to your PlayStation 2 library. So that is a look at a trio of sealed PlayStation 2 games, now brand new, that I can go ahead and add to my library. Madden 2001 is certainly worth a look today. Madden 2001 and 2002, I think. And if we take a look at the Madden games, again, across the spectrum for the PlayStation 2, I really think that they bear out pretty well. And if you compare them with other generations like the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 eras, although those games look better graphically, I don't know that they do a lot better in terms of content. So the Madden games for the original PlayStation 2, I think, are worth taking a look at, and they are not very expensive to get. I have opened up other Madden games in the past. This is one I had not had a chance to open up, so I was very excited to do that. So happy 20th anniversary to the PlayStation 2, as it is now October 26th by about 11 minutes. As always, I thank you for watching this and all of my episodes of Unsealed here on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. If you like the channel, like the videos that you're seeing, don't forget to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That would be pretty cool. I rarely ask that, but I'm very close to 600 subscribers, so that's pretty exciting stuff. Thanks for watching as always. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll do this again real soon. Until then, see you later.